Your dad assassination shook the whole country.
Yeah.
It's a story I can't forget.
It's a story many people can't.
And you narrated the story in your book.
Yeah.
How you came to the house and met everywhere quiet.
Yeah.
What happened that day?
That day was the day. It was a Sunday. I'll never forget. My birthday is on the 22nd of December. And every year, I write to my parents to thank them. I give them a gift every year. So that 22nd, I'd written a letter to my parents and a card to appreciate them. And then I sent food to them. So the 23rd morning, my dad had gone to Holy Communion. My parents prefer going to Holy Communion. My father grew up as a Catholic, so he likes Mass. He likes anything that is Holy Communion. He doesn't like Matins as much as he loves the Eucharist. So, and he likes to go to church very early. So he had gone to church very early that Sunday morning. He had gone to Holy Communion service at St. Anne's. And then he called me. His older brother had been ill. He was ill in hospital in Lagos. He has his own family. This my dad's brother, my uncle.
You're talking about George Ige.
George Ige.
Bola Ige was the middle boy.
My father was the middle. George Ige was the oldest boy. Dele Ige was the youngest boy. They have two sisters.
Did you hear Babafemi Ojudu there? We'll talk about that. I want you to let us into your mind. But before that, let's talk about scrap. I have Prince Abdulrahman with me here. Prince Abdulrahman, it's good to have you on State Affairs.
It is my pleasure, Edmund Obilo, the microphone wizard, as I always call it, and an intellectual encouragement to many youth out there. My name is Prince Bello Abdurrahman, Mr. Farmer, as I'm popularly called.
Now, you've got something to sell to us or
Yes.
something to buy from us.
Yes, I actually come here to represent Dr. Scrab, and I have a good news for all our esteemed listeners out there about Dr. Scrab. Basically, what we do here is that we buy abandoned and accident cars, vehicles, all type of vehicles generally. So for personal individuals who have abandoned vehicles that they are no more using, what they do at Dr. Scrab Recycle is that we buy them and we recycle them. We buy them, we recycle them, we turn them into another useful materials, iron rod, different other things that are useful. So we buy personally from individuals who have abandoned vehicles that they are no more using, accident cars, and many others. In fact, we are not limited into vehicles alone. We buy machineries from farm, abandoned machineries that they are not using.
Are there criteria the seller must meet before you buy?
Definitely, Edmund Obilu. The criteria is that the seller must be, we are buying from the owner. We don't buy from mechanics. We don't buy from roadside to avoid probable tragedy. We don't buy from roadside. We buy directly from the owner. So not only that, we buy from government power starters. So all government power starters who have abandoned vehicles, we buy from them. So they can call Dr. Scrab and sell to them. They turn those accident cars, abandoned vehicles into cash. They turn it into money. They make money from it. We will buy it from them.
So waste is wealth.
Yes. Just like they do in Germany. Great countries, they turn their waste into wealth. That's what Germany is doing. That's what they are doing in Austria. That's what they are doing in South Korea. And many other countries like that.
So this scraps should not be on the street and in a compound.
No. Since we can turn it into money. So why do we have to waste it? Waste it is a resources on its own.
And you pay good money.
Definitely.
Good money.
Yes. Cash, good raw cash, good money. They will make money from it because it is a resources they think it is not useful. But Dr. Scrap is putting life into the scrap. They are turning it into some other things that are useful in the society. So that's why Dr. Scrap is here to tell our people that call Dr. Scrap for any of your abandoned vehicle you want to sell. We don't buy from mechanics. We hammer that. The reason is that we are trying to avoid any probable problems, which include stolen vehicles. So we don't buy from roadside. Even if you have a car within the roadside, we will order you to take it to the owner, either the owner's office or the owner's home. So that's what we do at Dr. Scrap.
So how do we reach Dr. Scrap?
Yes, definitely you can reach Dr. Scrap from this phone number and all our social media platform. In all our social media platform, Facebook, WhatsApp, and others, just search for Dr. Scrap Recycle. Dr. Scrap Recycle. The phone number to call is 090 830 13333. That's 090 once again 830 830 13333. Again 090 because we use only one number 090 830 13333. That's the number to reach.
So if you want to reach Dr. Scrap, call 090 830 13333. Okay, I will give you the number again to reach Dr. Scrap. Call 090 830 333. So that's the number to call. Are
Dr. Scrap Recycle.
Recycle.
Yes.
On Dr. on Instagram, on Facebook.
And more also, we are open to partnership, either from government, parastatals, or individuals. We are open to partnership. People can partner Dr. Scrap in business progress of scrap industry. So we are open. We are open.
So scrap is an industry.
Yes, it's an industry that people make money from. In fact, it's a resources that our youth can also tap into and leave poverty. They win poverty. Because scrap materials that we are wasting here, they are turning it into wealth in developed countries. I got to read an article this morning before coming here about Germany. How Germany make more than 20% of their revenue from scrap industry, from their waste. They do waste recycling and they turn all those waste into wealth. They are making money, huge money from it.
Perhaps I'm coming to join Dr. Scrap.
It is nice. We would love to welcome you.
Dr. Scrap, let's make money.
Yes, we need to make money. You see, when I joined your live this morning and I was listening to you, I was like, the major problem of this country is that we are yet to win poverty. And the way we can win poverty is to create innovations. Get money from different things people might not think of. Our economy should not just be dependent on oil alone. The oil is dying already. It's dying. But developed countries are thinking on ways to generate wealth. Because without wealth, you can never get power. Most especially in this country.
Waste is wealth.
Yes.
Prince Abdurrahman, thank you for featuring on State Affairs.
It is my pleasure being in this class physically with Edmund Obilu.
Thank you.
It is my pleasure.
Thank you
You're
for coming.
welcome.
And Dr. Scrap, we greet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The program is State Affairs on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station.
his cloth before he was shot. But I don't think that was ever done. So if no fingerprinting was done, the certainty of knowing who did the job could not be achieved.
He was a great thinker, right?
Extraordinary man. Extraordinary man. You can never get tired of Bola Ige. And having known him, you cannot remain the same.
Do we still have such political leaders?
I'm not in search of anyone.
Why are you not searching?
One Bola Ige is enough for a lifetime.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Why has Nigeria not been able to defeat Boko Haram, the bandits in the north?
Good. Like I was explaining before, I talk about those 4 major functions that you need to carry out in the military operation. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, and in sequence. You know, when the Americans came up with this doctrine about 15 years ago, they didn't hide it. They gave to all their allies, and Nigeria too adopted it. You know, Sri Lanka has been fighting Tamil Tiger rebel for about 25 years. And then when this doctrine came, Sri Lanka sat down and adopted it fully. And within 2 months, they were able to defeat the Tamil Tiger that they have been fighting for about 25 years. Because they follow it sequentially. We are not doing that in the Northeast. We will do it halfway, we'll go to the next, we'll do it, the other one will do it halfway, you end up prolonging the war, or you lose the war.
Why are we not doing it? Who is responsible?
That's it.
You left the army recently.
Yes.
That was just 3 years ago.
Good. You see, I was an instructor before I left too in Kotangora, that's our training center. Most of the time I've been an instructor. And some of these things we tell the authorities, do it this way. You know, at times they believe that Boko Haram is just ragtag army that we can just defeat. And some have that illusion that after all we defeated rebel in Liberia. I mean, I'm saying I was in Liberia, we didn't defeat any rebel. Because if we defeated the rebel, we will not have that prolonged war for years. That we were just going there. At the end of the day, the Chancellor that we were fighting still became president. You get my point? So, we need to follow the way it was stated in the book. Otherwise, we will have a prolonged war.
Can you restate that procedure again?
Yes, the procedure, there are 4. Number 1 is finding the enemy. We need to deploy a lot of technology to find that enemy.
We have found them. They are in Sambisa. They are in the Lake Chad Basin.
Good. If you go to Sambisa is a wide area. All those Boko Haram cannot be deployed in the whole wide area. They are in some, specific spots. You get my point? Which only the satellite and modern technology can do for us.
We don't have the satellite?
We don't have.
Obasanjo invested money in satellite.
Where is the satellite? If it is succeeded, where is it? Are we using it? So those are some of the things we need to just ask ourselves. The leaders have not really helped matters. They say they spent billions on those satellites. We have not seen them, and they have not probed anybody to say where are the money that you people spent on this satellite. Where is the satellite? Because I don't know whether we have got the satellite. I might not. Let me not just say that we don't have it. Whether we have got it now, I don't know.
So we've not been able to find the enemy.
The exact location where they are, and that is why we are falling into ambushes here and there, because we are still looking for them. Here and the soldiers, infantry soldiers, are supposed to just wait and go for the final onslaught. We'll be the one now to be finding the enemy.
So if you can't find the enemy, you can't fix the enemy.
You can't fix the enemy.
So the second is fixing the enemy.
Fixing the enemy, and that is done mainly by the Air Force and maybe artillery too. You get my point? Because when the exact locations are known, you put the coordinate figures in the firing system of the aircraft. Then you go there directly. Don't need to waste your fuel again, fly all over the place. because you have the coordinate already in the system. To just go there, bomb the bastards.
You know, recently the Air Force bombed a community
Okay.
in Sokoto State.
Yeah.
They were looking for Lukarawa terrorists.
Good.
I think last year or early this year.
Yeah.
Some communities were bombed mistakenly.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
There may be disagreement among them, but certainly not all of them wanted Bola Ige to be president. And I can tell you specifically, when the Dirovan something was being arranged, we were not invited. So Baba Adesanya appointed those he called the elders to come and do it. So I met with Baba Onosanya in his house in Surulere. I'd asked him, how is it going? Then he said, when Papa Ajasin was alive, many of the old politicians were banned by Babangida, and they now decided to endorse Shifolu Falai to carry the flag of the group. He said, I don't think we have changed our mind.
Who said that?
Papa Onosanya. Otumba Sholanke Onosanya.
I see.
Yes.
That was before the D. Rovans event.
Before the Dirova event. I met him in his house.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
So what is death like? What is death like in the military? You just accept it and move on.
The enemy will shoot you. That's why you have to, during training, you teach you how to see the enemy before the enemy will see you, so that you get him first. Because if he gets you, you are gone. So it's part of the training.
So as a military officer, are you trained not to cry when death comes?
Of course, that's why you get passed through tough training to toughen you. No emotion.
No emotion.
No emotion. When you are there, it happens. You have to go because the aim is to win. So anything that will make you not to win, that means you are not well trained.
So an officer cannot break down in a war front and begin to cry.
Why will you cry? Because your colleague dies, you want to now start crying. The next thing, the bullet might just touch you, you will go too. You just need to find a way, secure his body, move on. Because the next bullet might be your own.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
So they also read the letter. So it was after Uncle was killed that the letter was found in his room in Abuja. I don't know whether he submitted one copy to Obasanjo or not. But a copy of the letter was found in his room.
Do you think somebody saw that letter and that has implications?
I don't think so. I think, I don't know. Let me just say that the death of Uncle Bola was a very dark chapter for all of us. It's as if we became orphaned, those of us who were very close to him.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Okay, you heard two voices. The last voice you heard is that of Dare Babarinsa, a renowned journalist. We were talking about Bola Ige there. The Dare Babarinsa interview on State Affairs about Bola Ige. Are you ready for it? Yes, it is coming on this channel today. You heard the voice of Colonel Adeniyi Oshakwade. I have been looking for an infantry soldier, a soldier that fights war, and I found one in Colonel Adeniyi Oshakwade, retired. he tells me about war. He talks about fighting. I asked him about Nigeria's recent rapport with France, and the suspicion that there is a French military base in Nigeria. I'll bring you that interview, but not on this edition of State Affairs. You heard Babafemi Ojudu complaining about the character of the people. Let's listen to the second part of that interview with Babafemi Ojudu.
I've had a colleague call me before, Femi, who after we left, he said, Femi, please, can you send me 20,000 naira?
For real?
I'm telling you, take this. I'm not lying.
But I thought senators make a lot of money.
That is what people do not know. As they are making this so-called lot of money, the thing is going back. I couldn't visit my constituency in those days if I do not have 5 million naira for a weekend. People will troop in. You are cooking. You are buying beer, and when they eat and drink, when they are going, you must provide transportation. You must solve problems.
Because the political leadership,
yes,
is not solving problem at the macro level.
At the macro, that's what I'm saying. And we are part of the political leadership.
Yes.
Until we realize that we should join forces with the executive to solve this problem at the macro level, we continue to beat about the bush.
But it seems the political class enjoys that micro relationship.
Because we are not thinking.
I can see that is why they are not solving the problem at the macro level.
No, there is no creative thinking. Awolowo was a politician. Everybody around him, they were politicians. But they were thinking. They look at a problem. How do we solve it? Because when you are solving other people's problem, you are solving your own problem too. As the Yorubas say, Olowo kan láàrin igba òtòṣì. One person in the midst of 200 poor people is also a poor man. So, take it from me, in most instances, 6 months after leaving the Senate, if you don't have a second address, and if you are used to a particular lifestyle, you become very poor 6 months after.
6 months?
6 months after, take it from me. Most public offices. There are some ministers of yesterday, you see them on the street, you do not know that they are unable to buy their medications for diabetes. So, the day we are able to realize that this system too is not good for us, that's the day we then begin to find solutions to these problems. So rather than envy those people, pity them all. Do you know the one that suffers most? They go and sell their homes to get the ticket. They will sell, if they have another, they will sell another one to go through the general election. They will now go into the whole thing. At the end of the day, they may not be able to build those houses again.
It's sad, is it not?
Very sad, very, very sad. Very sad.
We must do something.
And the moment you live there, people abandon you. The same people who comes to you picking money will no longer visit you.
Because you can't solve problems.
You can't solve problems again, yeah. I've had occasions, 2 a.m., somebody will call me, they have rushed our leader to the hospital. I said, what am I going to do? You are in Ekiti. You are telling me a leader has been rushed to the hospital. I'm not a nurse, I'm not a doctor. Let him go there and seek hand. The Senator Kosowoni, there is no money. Okay, this is 2 a.m. What am I going to do at this time? It was not the time you can transfer money on phone. You'll be pestered from that 2 a.m. till 6, 7 a.m. when you will now probably ask somebody to go and assist them with money. So sleepless nights, insults and abuses. So let me tell you this. There was a senator, I don't know whether I should mention his name. He was a general in the army. He was minister. They called them
commissioner.
Commissioner in those days, under Buitala in those days. We went to Ajaokuta on assignment. We were driving back. I sat beside him. He got a call on his phone. You are a fool. Your father is a fool. You are an idiot. You are talking to me like that. I said, calm down, sir. Calm down, sir. What is the problem? He said, one stupid boy from my constituency. He's telling me that because I've not sent money to him, he will ensure that I do not come back. What do I need this for? When I was a minister, your father was nobody. He was agitated. That's the kind of thing. Somebody, I'm talking of General Magoro.
But some would say serve them right.
Served who's
Yes, the senators, the politicians serve them right, frustrate them since they are not fixing the problems.
Well, maybe that's another perspective, another way of looking.
Because if you fix the problem, nobody disturbs
If you
you.
look at the interviews I've granted when I was senator, you find them through Google, and I kept repeating that thing. Gentlemen, look, if they say you are good today because you are sending money, it's a lie. If 10 people comes to you, you are not going to satisfy all of the 10 persons. And one person can come to you 10 times. If you help 9 times and you fail to help on the 10th time, you're a bad person. And they will go around the town to mess up your name. Yeah, he's a stingy man. He's not a good man. Oh, this and that.
This country needs redemption, right?
Serious one.
And Babafemi Ojudu can help.
I'm retired.
The battles you fought here
Yes.
were battles that bettered democracy.
Yes.
These battles were battles of a hero.
Yes.
And I think
Again, it's not a battle an individual can fight and win. I want to give you the example of Professor Ayodele Awojobi. Very sad case. One of the most brilliant Nigerians that has ever lived. He was a mechanical engineer. He was concerned about all problems. And he thought the court was going to be an avenue to solve them on this. And he kept going on to the court. I was in the court the day he wore danshiki over on top of his suit to come to court. I knew that Nigeria has driven this man to an extreme. He will die shortly after. Because he took the entire problem of Nigeria, put it on his shoulder, and he then collapsed on his head. So the way for me to solve this problem is to come together. Look for people of similar vision and ideas. Come together as a collective. If you want to do it alone, you are gone, you are dead. Look at Gani Fayemi. As brilliant, as tough, as committed as he was. Again, our people will not even give you the opportunity. They prefer the ones. Look, Awolowo, like I said, I've never seen anyone who says, I love Awolowo because he gave me money to pay my child school fees or he paid for my medical bill. They always say, I love Awolowo because he provided free education. He had good ideas. But today, you are loved because you are solving personal problems. And how many problems among 200 million people are you going to solve as an individual?
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
you've listened to Babafemi Ojudu. What do you think? Call the radio station 070 694 93000. That is 070 694 93000. Call 070 144 75770. That is 070 144 75770. Those are the numbers to call. Call the radio stations. What do you think? Babafemi Ojudu's experience. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Edmondo Bilo.
Yes, good morning.
My name is Efmo Ikendi.
Good to hear your voice.
I've always been listening to your program, but I've never had the privilege to talk on your program before. According to what I listened to today, I believe all these senators, what they have to do is they should not think of coming back the second time. They are thinking.
Good morning. Okay, we can hear you.
God bless you. Bye.
Sorry about that line wasn't clear. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and where you're calling from.
From Odonakwata.
The ball is in your court.
What Ojudo has exposed the problem of this country. I say him, I say, nobody is perfect. But with what he has, the better man that can be the best that can rule Nigeria. That is why some people see him as etal of Tinubu or whatever. No, he has seen. He saw. Look at what even with the masses we have a lot. We have a lot. We be depending on the politician, depending on the councillor, chairmen, that they must do this and do that. No, we need better orientations. If we have a better government, those are the things that can move this country ahead. God bless you.
Thank you for calling the radio station. Yes, the lines are open. Let's hear from you. Let's try it. Let's try.
Hello, good morning, Obilo.
Good morning.
Hello, sir.
Okay, make your comment. I can hear you.
This is Olu from Elele.
Okay.
Yeah, from what I heard of this man, Ojodu, there's something that I can say about it. It's one of the evil of the military to coordinate. People have been left, the politicians have been left to be wobbling and fumbling. Who have gotten things like that. Now the senators do not have any reason to be giving money. What they need to do is that when they go to their constituents, when they notice anything, they go back to the Senate, and of course, they will give a law that will prevent it. So we need institutions, not individuals.
Thank you. Thank you. We need institutions. Ojudu complains about the character of the followership class. Ojudu is bitter. And because of his experience, he refused to go for a second term so that he will not get high blood pressure. Ojudu calls for action. Ojudu calls for solving of problems at the macro level. Ojudu calls for redemption. The lines are open. Let's hear from you. 070 694 93000 070 144 757 70. Call the radio station. Are you on X? Are you on YouTube? Let me see your messages coming. Let's see, network has been so poor. I can't even open the messages here. It's just rolling and rolling. But since yours rolling too, okay, yours is dancing. I can't seem, the X is not opening. You can see the streaming keeps cutting. Okay? So, you see, Bola Ige was a leader of the progressive school of politics in Nigeria until he was brutally killed on the 23rd of December 2001 at the age of 71. As I speak of Bola Ige, it reminds me of this book entitled State and Development in Post-Independent Africa. Yes, it is the book of the day. The book of the day is State and Development in Post-Independent Africa. Look at it here. Now, why am I bringing this book to you? The book answers this question. Is the state still relevant for development in contemporary Africa? The hospitals are failing. Public schools are threatened. The roads are in poor state. Then arose the question, is the state still relevant for development in contemporary Africa? You see, there have been several scholarly efforts geared towards understanding the role of the state in facilitating socio-economic development in Africa. Why some see the state as a benevolent political authority which possesses the necessary mandate and responsibility to advance development. Others see it as an area for personal accumulation and rent sharing. If you are a student of politics, history, and development, this book will broaden your mind about the issues of the state and development in Africa. And we can begin to solve the problems from some of the ideas in this book. It is a book written by more than 20 scholars. You know, what you call edited books, it's not written by one author. You know, edited books, you say, Professor Tony Falola, send me your idea about the state. Professor Femi Mimiko, send me your idea. So edited books are the works of different scholars. That is why edited books are so intense. So you have more than 20 scholars that came together to submit their essays for this book about the state and development in post-independent Africa. The editors are Samuel Ojo Oloruntoba and Vusi Gumed. I recommend this book to you. Order your copy on udarabooks.com. udarabooks.com. You can also order your copy through my WhatsApp number 080 999 18449. That is 080 999 18449. It is the book of the day, State and Development in Post-Independent Africa. You see, the next interview we talk about Yoruba politics, but it will be centered around Bola Ige. Afenifere comes into the question. And from my research on Yoruba politics, Yoruba history, it has become important that for Yoruba land to become that leader it used to be, there is a need for us to understand the culture and customs of the Yoruba. It is from the understanding of the culture and customs of the Yoruba that we can create a new Yoruba nation that will be a driver of development around the world. The Yoruba nation is an endowed nation. You would know how endowed this nation is when you read this big book. It's about more than 1,000 pages. It's entitled Culture and Customs of the Yoruba. It is one of the most comprehensive work on Yoruba culture, customs, and history. And one of the editors is the renowned Tony Falola, a professor of history. You know, when Falola edits a book, I read it immediately. Akintunde Akinyemi, you see, more than 50 scholars on Yoruba history, culture, and custom came together to put up this voluminous work. It is a classic for every Yoruba man, for every Igbo man, for every Fulani man. It is a book for Africans. You know, whenever I read it, there's this thing that comes over me, and it's so positive and inspiring. I see the power of culture and customs. The reason I think you should have this book in your house. Gift it to the generation to come. Culture and customs of the Yoruba. On a good day, this is the kind of books Yoruba billionaires should buy off the authors and distribute it widely to everybody. These are the kind of books Yoruba millionaires should print for free for every son and daughter of the land to understand their culture. Books like this should not even be on sale. It should be given to primary school students to take home. If I have the resources, just at the end of the term, you just give it to all of them in a pack. This big book, take it home. That is the copy for your family. Let them read it. And all. See, you see Yoruba science in this book. Culture and customs of the Yoruba. You can order your copy on udarabooks.com. udarabooks.com or through my WhatsApp number. Just chat with me on WhatsApp. 080 18449. I said Bola Ige was a leader of the progressive school of politics in Nigeria until his death on the 23rd of December 2001 at the age of 71. Bola Ige was the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of Nigeria when he was assassinated in his home in Ibadan. Ige rose to political stardom when he became the governor of Oyo State, Old Oyo State, from 1979 to 1983, on the platform of Obafemi Awolowo-led Unity Party of Nigeria, UPN. Bola Ige's education policy opened the doors of knowledge to a great number of citizens in search of progress. In 1990, he published the book People, Politics, and Politicians of Nigeria, 1940 to 1979. Now, recently, I was with Bola Ige's only surviving son, Muyiwa Ige. So I was asking him. I said his father wrote a book that is a classic, one of the best books on Nigerian politics. But the sad thing is that the book is out of print. You can't get copies anymore. So I'm asking the family, why are we not reading that book? So Muyiwa Ige has promised that the family is going to reprint. Because it's a book you should read to understand Nigerian history. Well written. When you read the book, you see how deep Bola Ige is. Once you turn the first page, you just know that this book was written by a philosopher king. The depth of the analysis can only come from a deep thinker. Bola Ige was one of the founders of Afenifere, a political and cultural group defined by its ideological stance on politics. As deputy leader of the group, his relationship with other leaders of the group became frosty after he lost out in his bid to become the presidential flag bearer of the Alliance for Democracy, a party tied to the agenda of Afenifere. It is the fallout of Ige's defeat at the Electoral College to choose the presidential candidate of AD that I will be addressing in this interview with Dare Babarinsa. Now, I might not finish the interview with Dare Babarinsa, but you also have the opportunity to go on my YouTube channel to watch the full interview. Because I have created that YouTube channel for you to understand history, politics, and power. So when I don't finish the interview here, just go on the YouTube channel, subscribe to it, and then take your children to that channel. We must understand history. That is why I'm happy Bola Tinubu is saying, let's take history deeper to primary schools, to nursery schools. No, some of my wife's nephews and nieces were around with me. And I was testing their understanding of history. These are brilliant children. They don't understand Nigerian history. They don't know. But if you ask an American child about history, American history, they know because they teach American history. And with history, you can inculcate patriotism in children. So let's bring in Dare Babarinsa as we discuss Bola Ige.
Splash FM 105.5.
House in Bodija, my dad's driver and the policeman and the security detail, they were outside. And the driver was even playing with my daughter. My daughter was like, no, don't play with me because I've trained my children, you know. Nobody will just be touching my daughter's cheek and say, fine girl, you are my wife or you are my girlfriend. No, don't even play with me. So my daughter was not, you know, so I just went straight up. The whole house, there was an eerie silence. Very odd. So my children were like, Grandma. So my son went to the study and thought my mom was there because in the study there's a bathroom and my mom wasn't there. Grandma, on my dad's side, there are two wings of the house. My mom has one side, my dad has one side. Grandma. Then I heard my mom's voice faintly say, yes. So on my mom's door, the key was outside. So my son was the one who actually opened the door and found that it was locked. So he just undid the key. As he undid the key, Muiwa just leapt out and said, Daddy, I heard a shot. I'm like, what? Because I didn't even go to my dad's side. I was going to my mom's side first and then going to my dad's. Muiwa just ran out.
So they were locked in by the assassins.
The assassins locked my mom, Muiwa's wife, my uncle's wife, who my dad had gone to drop in Catholic Hospital Oluyoro, locked them in my mom's room. I went to go and kill my dad. So Muiwa said he heard a shot. He heard shots. I'm like, shot? So anyway, Muiwa ran. And anybody that knows Muiwa knows that Muiwa is fitter than me. He flew. And then I just saw my dad's body on the floor. He was wearing white brocade, buba and shokoto. Muiwa too was wearing white buba and shokoto. Muiwa, then there was, a gunshot wound to his heart. Muiwa was now doing CPR. So he stuffed the place and he was doing CPR, put his mouth and was do the CPR, blah, blah, stop one, breathe into his mouth. I just broke down. He just said, then I think the houseboy, the steward now came and I started crying. He said, Sister Fucho, don't cry. The steward now said, oh yeah, carry him. Helped carry my dad. He just took the car from the key from the driver, or maybe he had his own car, I don't even know. He just took one car. So I followed him. By the time I got to that housing corporation roundabout, my father lives just off a day. My brother was going at a speed that there was no way that I could match. So he had taken the body. So he had gone. So I now went home because my husband was like, this is the third time you are going to your father's house because I'm very close to my parents. So he decided that he's going to watch TV. So he was watching TV. And then I just came in and I said, Benro, my dad has been shot. I think my dad has been killed. He said, are you crazy? I said, did I lie like that yesterday? I said, somebody just shot my dad. He said, okay, so what are you doing here? I said, I came home to take my ATM card and whatever I have so that if they need money in the hospital. So he said, okay, where is he? I said, we was taking him to Oluyoro. So Miro now, my husband is Miro, he now got into the car. And then as we were going towards Oluyoro, we got to this, from my house, we're about to turn into Awolowo. Then he said, where are the kids? I'm like, which kids? He said, our kids. I totally forgot I took kids to my parents' house. So he said, you know what? Where's mom? I said, mom is in the house with the kids. So he said, okay, I'll go and drop you in the house with the kids. By the time I got to the house with the kids, my mom was on the floor. My children were on the floor outside. And my mom was like, I can't believe it. I can't believe they shot my husband. I can't believe they killed my husband. My children were too, I can't believe they killed my grandpa. I just got there. So my husband just dropped me. He didn't stop. I said, just go and meet me. We're in the hospital. I just got down. I said, Mom, yeah, get up now. Get up, get up, get up. I said, why? Don't let me get up. I will enter this ground. I said, you will not enter this ground. Mommy said, Bola is alive. I said, he's alive. Oh, yeah, Mommy, get up. Be sitting on the floor inside the sand. He's okay. He's okay. He said, yes. I said, he's okay. You saw him? I said, yes. Me that I didn't even reach the hospital. I said, I saw him. I said, oh, yeah, Kayode, Ayotunde, get up. Oh, yeah, hold grandma. So I held my sister-in-law, Muiwa's wife. She had curled into the generator room. We didn't even know that was where she was, or the security. She had curled like this, like a fetus. She was just shaking. So I went, I said, oh, India, yeah, get up. Get up, get up. I said, Auntie, did they kill Daddy? I said, no, get up. So I persuaded them. We all went inside. And then a few minutes later, maybe like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, we were
Look at this. Let's go to Bola Ige time. Bola Ige was arrested by the Abacha government. At the death of Abacha, he came out of detention. And I learned in detention he had a revelation that Awolowo appeared to him in prison, telling him to lead Yoruba nation out of Nigeria. I also learned he called some news editors to a private meeting where he revealed that appearance of Awo to him. I learned he also took that message to the caucus of Afenifere, telling them that Awo appeared to him in a trance. And Awo came with the message of Oduduwa. Then some leaders interpreted it to say, what is this saying? Why is he always claiming the position of Awo? First, you know about the story I'm talking about, right?
Go on, go on.
I am done with my narration, okay. So I want you to come in now.
Papa, Bola Ige was arrested in Ibadan here and taken to Makurdi prison, where he was sharing a room with one of our colleagues, Mr. Kunle Ajibade, who is still a director of the news. Yes, Shibola came back from prison saying that he had a dream encounter with Papa Awolowo. Now let me situate that position. When Abacha came, and Afenifere also came, and we have been holding meetings. In 1995, a meeting was held here in Ibadan at the Premier Hotel. And we said at that meeting, there was a communique at that meeting that we wanted restructuring. We wanted the return to regional government. And there are many people written about that. And when Bola Ige came back from prison, he said we needed to work hard on this regional government. So we had a caucus meeting in Ibadan, in which Bola Ige was the chairman and I was privileged to be the secretary. So that meeting agreed on the restructuring of Nigeria along regional lines. Fortunately for us, General Abacha, as bad as he was, his constitutional conference has already recognized what he called the 6 geopolitical zones. And we believe that was really good enough to start from. So Chief Ige said, the person who can do this thing best for us was Chief Attorney Inoru. Chief Attorney Inoru should be invited from abroad to come and lead the campaign so that if he's president, he'll be able to restructure Nigeria along regional lines.
If he becomes president?
Yes.
All right.
And I went to the US and I met Chief Inoru.
You were one of the young persons who were in love with Bola Ige, right?
Yes.
All right.
And yes.
Look, I saw your name in the list. Go on, sir.
So, and one of our leaders, I believe, Professor Wale Soyinka, also met with Chief Inoru. Chief Inoru was not happy with his colleagues. He said what the politician did was wrong. That they should agree on the constitution first before they agree on the transition, not the other way around. There was no constitution at that time. He said, how can you agree on transition without the constitution? So, to quote him, he said, I cannot see any light ahead of the tunnel. So, he refused to return to come and contest for the presidency. And it was after his refusal that Bola Ige decided that he will contest. Luckily for us, the Metropolitan Club in Lagos invited him to come and deliver a lecture. So it was in that lecture that he made the declaration that he will be running for presidency.
Were you one of the editors in the meeting that Uncle Bola called when he returned from prison?
I was closer to Uncle Bola than that.
But were you in that meeting?
No, I was not in that meeting. But we have already discussed it in the caucus.
So he told you about that dream?
Yes, it was a dream.
And was he ready to fulfill that mission?
If he had been president in 1999, I think he would have not to take Yoruba out of Nigeria, no, but to create a regional government. And I believe even now that where we are, if the kind of problem we have in the country, a regional arrangement will be better for this country.
We'll come to that.
Yes.
I'm still on the Bola Ige story. When he revealed that dream to leaders of Afenifere, what happened?
After Chief Inoru said he would not run for presidency, Bola Ige decided to run. And it was part of at that time there was a lot of movement for the formation of political parties.
Yes.
Senator Addison has appointed him and some other leaders to consult other leaders across the country to form political parties. And Bola Ige was going around. But before that time, a meeting was held in Kaduna, attended by Bola Ige and some of the other leaders across the country. It was at that meeting Bola Ige told his colleagues that he would like to be presidential candidate of the alliance of the new party.
That is with a meeting with the G34?
No, this was after the G34 meeting gave birth to the PDP.
Yes.
In which Bola Ige participated.
And he also pulled out?
Because that was the instruction from Abraham Adesanya.
Was it true that it was clear at that time that some northern forces led by Abubakar Rimi wanted Falai to be the presidential candidate of the PDP, not Bola Ige? So for that reason, Bola Ige engineered the pulling out of the Yoruba caucus from the party.
Let me tell you, the withdrawal of Bola Ige and his team was as on the instruction of Baba Abraham Adesanya. There was no doubt about it. Look, unfortunately, Baba Adesanya is late now. Baba Adebanjo was fully involved in that, and Shifalai, the two of them are still alive, so they can give better insight into that. But that was what happened.
Then from G34 to APP.
APP was supposed to be the real party. But some people whom our leaders thoroughly disagree with came in to join APP.
People like Shinkafi?
No. Shinkafi was very close to our leadership. They were close. They like Shinkafi. People in Yoruba land came to join APP, and the leadership of Afenifere didn't like that, and they decided that those who fought, who collaborated with Abacha, should not be in the leadership.
But at that point, Bola Ige was already making headway. I learned they've already been discussion between Bola Ige and Shinkafi.
I don't know whether you can say it was making it, but let me tell you a story.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Let me tell you a story. The northern leadership had already agreed that Afenifere should produce the presidential candidate. Therefore, when Afenifere was delaying in producing a presidential candidate, they were also now meeting with other people. At that time, I was the leader of what we call Idile Oodua. And we also heard about this, that the northern leadership had written a letter to Papa Adesanya. So we requested that we would like to meet the leadership. So Papa Adesanya invited us to a meeting in the house of Chief Ganiu Daudu in Victoria Land. So we met him there, and we asked that we heard that a letter had been written to Afenifere, asking Afenifere to produce, to submit the name of who will be the president. And Papa Adesanya said that we will need to be patient. And I was the spokesperson that day. And I said, why should we be patient? Some time is going. So apparently they didn't act fast enough. One of the leaders who wrote that letter was Alhaji Shinkafi.
Did he act fast enough?
They didn't act fast enough.
Was it because they didn't want Bola Ige?
I wouldn't say so. Bola Ige and Baba Adesanya were very, very close.
Were they?
They were very, very close. There was nothing Baba Adesanya would do without consulting Bola Ige, and vice versa.
You know, some have said in that group,
yes,
that Bola Ige was the greatest gift among them. That he was intellectually gifted and far more mentally equipped than the others. And he had a sharp tongue.
Yes.
So among the leadership of Afenifere at that time,
yes,
Bola Ige perhaps was not liked by the so-called Ijebu force, led by Adesanya, Adebanjo,
yes,
Saolaniwan Ajayi, and some would say Onosoya. Is that not true?
For many, during the crisis, the Afenifere leadership was meeting regularly in Papa Onosoya's house at Ore Close in Surulere. We used to go there. And it was clear that they were political colleagues, not necessarily personal friends, because it was what happened during the Second Republic. During the Second Republic, Bola Ige was a governor. Bisi Onabanjo was a governor. Ajasin was a governor. And these other people were not governors. So at that point, Jakonde had fallen out from his colleagues. Ajasin, by 1999, was dead. Ambrose Ali was dead. Chief Onabanjo, he was dead too. So it was only virtually Bola Ige and Chief Cornelius Adebayo, who are the former governors in Afenifere. So there may be disagreement among them, but certainly not all of them wanted Bola Ige to be president. And I can tell you specifically, when the Dirovan something was being arranged, we were not invited. So Baba Adesanya appointed those he called the elders to come and do it. So I met with Baba Onosanya in his house in Surulere. I'd asked him, how is it going? Then he said, when Papa Ajasin was alive, many of the old politicians were banned by Babangida, and they now decided to endorse Chief Olufala to carry the flag of the group. He said, I don't think we have changed our mind.
Who said that?
Papa Onosanya, Otumba Sholanke Onosanya.
I see.
Yes.
That was before the D-Rovans event.
Before the D-Rovan event. I met him in his house.
So it was clear at that time. Or did you decode the message at that time? Yes. If you're just joining the discourse, I am discussing with Dari Babarinsa. You've seen this book, this popular book, The House of War. This is one of the books of Dari Babarinsa. He is one of Nigeria's greatest journalists. He's also the author of this book. You see this, One Day and a Story. He is a Bola Ige man. In most of my research, your name kept coming up. Dari Babarinsa. And you are here telling us the story. Did you decode the message at that time?
I think at that point, it was clear to Shifigi that some members of the leadership may not want him to be president.
Was it clear to him?
It was. I came to Ibadan here. I met him. We had our meetings in his house.
He told you that?
The two of us. He said that I will go forward, whatever it is.
But he was sure he was going to win. Because I keep asking, why did he get travel? Even, I interviewed Pa Adebanjo. He said he was sure of 13 persons. So he was not asking me. I should ask if he was alive. I should have go and ask him what happened to those 13 persons.
Shifige was not a man to shy away from a battle. He realized that he had formidable opponents.
Within
Afenifere.
Why?
Now, let me tell you something that he believed that it was the rover was set up because of him.
To humiliate him?
When Papa Ajasin died, there was a lot of movement to say Bola Ige to also contest to be leader of Afenifere. Papa Ajasin was a governor. Bola Ige was a governor. Let him now be our next leader. And you should know Bola Ige has the charisma, the capacity to move around. He was well known. He was the face that you cannot ignore. So, the Idile Odua, we met in Lagos and said, what do we do about these two leaders? So I went with some of my colleagues, my deputy, my immediate deputy, Engineer Bayo Adenekon, my other colleagues, Prince Dokwa Bolarin, who is now our father, the Rongon Fukela, Prince Dayo Adeyeye, who later became a senator and a minister, and I think Baristani Yafuye, who was our secretary at that time. We met with Baba Adesanya. Now Papa Ajasin is dead. Who is going to be the next leader? He said he would whatever the Afenifere agrees to do, he will abide by it. That is not, he was not desperate to be leader of Afenifere. Then, from there we went to the office of Bola Ige in on Victoria Land. I think what's the name of the street now. So we met him. And we told him that this contest for leadership of Afenifere, what is going to happen? Then he said he would like to be the leader of Afenifere. But if Abraham Adesanya is interested, I will not spar with him. I will not contest against Abraham Adesanya, because Abraham Adesanya have been very loyal to all our leaders, starting from Awolowo. I cannot so, but despite that, some people still mobilized to Owo, saying that Bola Ige must contest. That was why when they got to Owo, Bola Ige that spoke and said, Adesanya should be our leader.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
The Dare Babarinsa interview on State Affairs. You know, one man who knew Bola Ige well is Dare Babarinsa. But another man who is an authority on Bola Ige is Chief Bisi Akonde, former governor of Osun State, former APC chairman. And Baba Bisi Akonde has written his autobiography entitled My Participation. You know, Baba Bisi Akonde's autobiography is like the story of Bola Ige. You know, there are chapters dedicated to Bola Ige in this book. So if you want to understand the politics of Bola Ige, read Bisi Akonde's autobiography, My Participation. Do not forget, when Bola Ige was the governor of Old Oyo State, the quiet Bisi Akonde was the secretary to the government of Oyo State. When Sunday Afolabi stopped being the deputy governor to Bola Ige, it was Bisi Akonde that became the deputy governor to Bola Ige towards the end of Bola Ige's first term. So they have come a long way. In fact, to become the governor of Osun State, Bisi Akonde tells the story of Bola Ige. He tells the story of the assassination of Bola Ige, the politics of Bola Ige, what happened in Yola. You know, we've talked about the Ijebu 4. Something happened in Yola between Bola Ige and some of the leaders of UPN. So this book is the story of Bola Ige, the autobiography of Bisi Akonde. Order your copy on udarabooks.com. You can also order your copy through my WhatsApp number 080 999 18449. The program is State Affairs on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. Don't go away.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Splash FM 105.5.
Bóyá ò ń sáré láti lọ wọ ọkọ̀ àbí ò ń jó ní ìgbéyàwó ọ̀rẹ́ rẹ, Nivea Dry ò ní dẹ̀yìn lẹ́yìn ẹ̀. Ó ti wà báyìí nínú ike kékeré.
Came his whole body too. He was drenched. My uncle was in one room he had prostate cancer and he actually died the day after my father's
In
funeral
Oluyoro.
in Oluyoro. My dad's dead body, you know, the nurses that were there, my dad had come, giving them money. This is for Christmas. I'm going to Esauki. Tomorrow, when I'm coming on Boxing Day, I'm going to be here. So they all still had the Christmas money my dad had given them when they brought my dad's corpse inside. So they were so shocked.
He had been there earlier.
He had been there like 2 hours before.
When he brought his elder brother.
When he brought his elder brother for admission. And then my husband had gone to tell his younger brother that my dad had been shot. So my husband went to pick my Uncle Dele. So as Uncle Dele got there, he fainted. So there were 3 Ige brothers, the dead one, the dying one, and the fainted one. And one of the nurses, my uncle didn't know what was happening. And they said, I think they brought the VIP because there's so much commotion going on. So when he realized that this is the older brother of the person that died, he said, he just said, I think it is Bola. So she just said, so another nurse now came in. I said, oh yeah, no, so yeah, come out, you know. So that was how they avoided telling my uncle. But after, I think he was in the news and then he just stopped, my uncle stopped eating from the day after, and he died the day after the funeral. Once his children came and said, we've gone to Esa, we've done this, he just died the next day.
When you go to the house that day and you met the compound code,
yes,
where were his security orderlies? Because at that time he was the Attorney General of the Federation and the Minister of Justice. Where were the security men that were detailed to take care of him?
Well, I saw 2 of them there. They were there. By the time I came back, they were there.
By the time you came back, they were there?
Yeah, by the time I got there, they were there. But from the countenance of the policeman, I knew, because Muiwa wanted to, because they now came to Oluyoro. And my brother was like, where were you when my dad was shot? Where were you? And he was, you know, so to avoid a commotion, I think they took my dad's body into the theater and told Muiwa that they were going to do a surgery so that Muiwa could at least leave the place, because apparently he was so irate. And Muiwa saw a ladder. They were painting for Christmas. Muiwa climbed the ladder so that he could look into the theater to see if indeed they were doing anything to my dad. So I think Muiwa actually went through a lot more because, funny enough, both...
When Chief Ige was approached by President Obasanjo, let me start from the beginning. Chief Ige and Chief Obasanjo were both members of the cabinet of Major General Adebayo, when Adebayo was governor of Western State. Bola Ige was a commissioner. Obasanjo was the commander of the Barangazi organization. By that position, he was a member of the cabinet. So they have been friends for many years. So when Obasanjo was made the presidential candidate of the PDP, he came to Ibadan to talk to Bola Ige, asking for his support. And Bola Ige said, no, I will not support you. We will meet on the field. Then he said he would like to come and talk to Afenifere. That's Chief Obasanjo now. So he came to an Afenifere meeting in Baba Onosonya's house. Obasanjo was there. So although the meeting ended almost like a fiasco, because Baba Onosonya said, we don't want to see non-Yoruba people in this meeting. And Obasanjo said, I'm contesting for the presidency of Nigeria, not of Yoruba land. Therefore, those who are non-Yoruba who are here should need to stay with me. And Baba Onosonya said, then, Aremu, you need to go out. We will not allow that. So
the meeting ended.
That was 1998. Or early 1999.
Interesting.
Yes. So when he now invited Chief Ige to come and join the government, Shivike decided that this is not a decision I could take alone. So, a meeting of Afenifere leadership from all over Yoruba land was called to Onyx Plaza in Ikeja Jare. That was where Bola Ige tendered the letter and said, this is what I have been given. And the meeting, everybody spoke in that meeting, and they supported Bola Ige joining the government.
They did?
Yes.
Was Pa Adebanjo in that meeting?
Now, the only person who spoke against it was Pa Adebanjo, who said he would not agree with that. Pa Adebanjo then was the acting leader, acting chairman. Bola Ige went for that appointment, where unfortunately it did not last.
Who killed him?
How can you be asking me such a question? How would I know who killed Bola Ige?
But you know the circumstances.
Yes, the circumstances is very, very unfortunate. I remember I visited him in Ikoyi, in his wife's official residence, a few days before he was killed. And I was met there by my in the English language. So they also read the letter. So it was after Uncle was killed that the letter was found in his room in Abuja. I don't think he ever, I don't know whether he submitted one copy to Obasanjo or not. But a copy of the letter was found in his room.
Do you think somebody...
Let me tell you why I believe it was mysterious. Let me explain. I'm from Okemesi Ekiti, which is the next town to Esauke, Uncle Bola's hometown. So, Uncle Bola knows my house in Okemesi. Of course, I go to his house regularly in Esauke. So, he was to go home because as the Asiwaju of Esauke, on December 24th of every year.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
You can listen to the full interview on my YouTube channel. And we will be releasing the full interview with Bola Ige's daughter. That is Funsho Adegbola. We'll be releasing her full interview on the page this week or next week. But you have about 30 minutes of her interview already on that page. And I have spoken with Muyiwa Ige. So I had a 2-hour interview with Muyiwa Ige on the politics of Bola Ige. We'll be releasing that soon on that page. So subscribe to my YouTube channel and enjoy these interviews as they come. If you want to understand Bola Ige's politics, read Bisi Akonde's autobiography, My Participation. You can get the book on udarabooks.com. My Participation. Bola Ige's daughter wrote a book entitled He Gave Me Wings. She also wrote another one, She Gave Me Roots. But the two books are in one book. She Gave Me Roots, He Gave Me Wings. You can see the book, by Bola Ige's daughter, Funsho Adegbola. You can order your copy through my WhatsApp number, 080 18449. I have also recommended Adventures of a Guerrilla Journalist by Babafemi Ojudu. I have recommended State and Development in Post-Independent Africa. That is this, the book of the day. State and Development in Post-Independent Africa. That's the book of the day. Then I also recommended Culture and Customs of the Yoruba. Culture and Customs of the Yoruba is a big book, a comprehensive one for that should be in all homes. Whether you are Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa or Fulani, there is a need for us to understand ourselves. Then I recommended this book, Beating All Odds, Diaries and Essays on How Bola Tinubu Became President, written by Sam Amatsaye. It's a good book. If you are a Baptist, you need to read this book. If you are obedient, read this book by Sam Amatsaye. Well-written book. So, next week is another time on State Affairs. I work with Bosun Alayode to bring you this edition of the show. The next program is Ijoba Ibile. I am Edmond Bilo. Thank you for being there.